Mr. Dickman and Mr. Warman, then the lady there that we mentioned back, and we'll catch the rest of you in order. So right here. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Greg Dickman. I'm running for 3rd District Congress. As a voter, I have a question. It's my litmus test as to who I may potentially vote for. And I want to know which one of you, or all of you, would vote for redactive voting, provisional redactive voting. And I know I'm going to have to explain it, but it's my idea. And what it is when a bill comes onto the House floor, I want them to be able to vote against the entire bill, a section of the bill, a paragraph of the bill, or a sentence in the bill. Because if there's a sentence that says $10 trillion goes to Zimbabwe, I want them to be able to take it out. Now, if 50% of them vote against it, it's immediately removed from the bill. And it ends the corruption in Washington because it cleans the bill. All those backroom deals, all the lobbyist influences, the bribes, everything that happens gets cleaned from the bill. Because I know I wouldn't be voting for something, $10 trillion for Zimbabwe. You know, I wouldn't do that. I want to get rid of wasteful spending and backroom deals.
Your direct question is what?
So, which one of you, if any, would vote for provisional redactive voting?
Can you direct what person you like?
It's for everyone. I want to know if any of them would sponsor it.
Okay, we'll start here on this end and move our way down. Redacted voting, being able to vote differently on bills, pull out parts you don't think belong.
You'll always get a straight answer out of me, and tonight with that question you're not, because I won't give a yes or no to a question that I haven't seriously considered. And I heard you explain this last night at the Allen County Lincoln Day dinner, and I've not been able to give it enough thought. Look, I wait. First of all, I'm not convinced it would end corruption, and so I view every question from this premise: what are the ramifications of it, such as, you know, doing away with the Fed, going back to the gold standard. I think that would raise the price of gold to about $6,000 an ounce. So I can't answer the question because I don't know. I'll think about it, and I'd love to get back to you, send you an email, but I can't say yes or no. I don't know.
Okay, Mr. Beatty?
Yeah, all I can tell you, not quite sure exactly, you know, your whole program, what you have in mind. All I can tell you is where I sit here. I can tell you how I will vote. And the bottom line of it is that I won't vote for any appropriations bill or any kind of legislation that is not pro-life, period. It's not pro-life and support life, and does not reduce the size, scope, and budget of the federal government. And so that's how I'll look at legislation. And also, look, I'm not asking you to send me there to go create legislation. That's part of the problem we have. The federal government is too much involved in our state life and our personal lives. So we shouldn't have all these bills hitting the floor. We shouldn't have the length of bills that we have. And we shouldn't have that kind of problem. So I'll be a very vigorous voice on the amount of bills that we have, the length of the bills, what's in the bills. That's the problem we have. We've sent career politicians who are making deals on both sides of the aisle, by the way. You know, I know it's the Republican Party, Democrat Party, but it's become the incumbent party. In 2008, for the first time in congressional polls, approval ratings were in single digits. Yet over 97% of all incumbents were voted back in. So it's a club there, and they're getting kickbacks. I will be a voice because I owe no allegiance to any. You know, I've come up through the party system, and the only allegiance I owe is to the Constitution and to my state and to my family. Period.
With regard to the issue of provisional redactive consideration, the United States House would be the best place to suggest that because of the rule structure in the House. The Senate, however, is unique. The United States Senate is unique in that there is no rule structure. And as such, we have the opportunity to effectively do what you're suggesting, and that is to amend a bill to death by removing all of the noxious provisions of the bill. And so while in the House of Representatives you have the rules process whereby something like this would be a change in the rules, it would probably be welcome to a certain extent, because in the rules process of the House, you have to go through a rules committee in order to amend a bill. That amendment has to be accepted by the Rules Committee, by the leadership of the House and the like. In the Senate, however, as I mentioned, the United States Senate is a different ballgame, and we can effectively do what you're suggesting. And I hope to be able to practice that if I'm so chosen to amend provision after provision after provision to get rid of these more heinous parts of every single bill.
Well, as John already said, there is that structure in place already. I mean, we have it at the legislative process. You have a first reading, which goes to a committee process. You have a second reading, which gives you the ability to amend a bill. I mean, any amendment you could offer would take out a specific sentence. You could take out a specific word. You could change an and to an or if you would like to already. So if you understand those bills and you read the bills and know what's in the bills, you then have an amendment process which would allow for you to change the bill as you're suggesting. So I would say that process is already in place. There are different rules in the House, there are different rules in the Senate, but ultimately it comes down to the leadership in those respective houses of what rules they're going to allow and what rules what amendments they wouldn't allow. So I would always support an amendment process, a free and open amendment process where you can change, one word or one dot if you would choose to do so. So that way the bill and the language is accurate in the intentions of the legislation. So, I mean, yes, I support your concept, and we already have that at the state government level and to a great extent already at the federal government.
All right, thank you. Actually, I'm going to jet out. I actually have to put this on the late news tonight, so I'm going to leave you in the hands of Pat Miller. Hopefully he won't ruin the night, but we're good for him.
Let's thank Aisha for your work. One more crack out of you and straight back to Pakistan. I have the papers right here, which leads us to our next question that we want to ask the gentleman. Gentlemen, do you hold that it really is true that radio talk show hosts carry more important weight than any news reporter on television? Do you agree with that? Oh, that's not really question. Okay, let's go to our next questioner who's right here. So, sir, there's the microphone right there. Your question, sir, who's it directed to and what's your question?
I'm Denny Mormon, running for state representative in the 85th district. Well, first of all, I start out by thanking Richard Maney for saying what he said for the people. I do think we all ought to be looking towards that very strongly. But the biggest question I have, and it's probably where everybody wants to take a quick look at it, is that could you present a bill in the legislation that would stop the waste of federal funding for the sound barriers they put along these interstates? A lot of people have done studies on this. Can you hear me all right?
It's a little difficult. The question he's asking is like, for example, the sound barriers along the interstates to cut down sound. Some people are concerned about them. They consider them to be a blight. Is that something that you even can introduce in the Senate? And if you could, would you?
Yeah, because it's an issue that was done. A study was done by the local station, Pat White. There were studies done by the TV stations and by the newspapers. And over 95% of the people wanted them down. They wanted to put them up anyway. Can we stop that in any way? Or would you present a bill that would bring that to a stop and wasted spending?
Okay, anybody in particular you want to start with?
We can start with Richard Maney.
Okay, thank you for your question, Mr. Bain.
Yeah, my concern with I wouldn't want to be making that kind of decision at the federal level. I believe that's a community level, the state level decision. I would like those kinds of decisions on what we like and don't want and like and don't like right here within our own communities. So I wouldn't want to be making that decision for you at the federal level. That's the problem we're into right now. We have the strong federal government now that's telling us what we can and can't do and what we're going to have and not have within our own communities. Now, I'm asking you to send me there to get the federal government off our back so gentlemen like yourselves and Marlon can make those kinds of decisions here at the state level.
Okay, Mr.